4 years ago, I started uploading my art onto Redbubble, and I ordered a few pieces to see how they looked. They took ages to arrive, which I think has improved greatly since then, thankfully. But other than that, I wasn't disappointed. Redbubble merchandise is not particularly low priced, so I was quite pleased in the quality of what I received. 4 years later, apart from a bit of pilling from my coat, my tote bag is still kicking, with no other sign of wear. My pencil case has no holes or defects. My notebook is well used. But 4 years later, do I still think it's worth posting my art onto Redbubble as a small creator? Yes and no. Before I continue, what you're watching is sped up footage of an instructional video I created to accompany a paint by number that I've been working on. This kit includes a top quality watercolor paper with the outlines already drawn on it, synthetic paintbrush, and 5 colors of core watercolor. So if you want to try making your own version of this exact painting, check it out in the link in the description. So I posted my stuff on Redbubble for one reason. People prefer practical merch, right? Original art is a really hard sell, not because it isn't fantastic to own, but just because it's easier to rationalize the purchase of a shirt, since clothing is mostly required. I still don't have a large enough audience to order copies of a zine, let alone sell hundreds of shirts in different styles. And you know that when you first start getting your work out there, people start throwing requests at you to make this into a necklace, make this into a shirt, make this into a bag, make this into a magnet, make this into a sticker, yada yada yada, right? Letting a print-on-demand company handle it means that if one person just wants a notebook, a shirt, bag, sticker, they can just go and get that. I don't have to undertake any financial risk myself or oversee the customer service aspect. My experience ends at scanning my art and tweaking it to fit different items. That's why I originally went with Redbubble specifically, because somewhere like Society6 required separate, perfectly sized files for each product, and that was just way too much fussing for 30-cent license fee? Theoretically, these websites let you scan a piece of art, upload it to their website, and then you can just sit back and watch the dollars roll in without doing any further work. Well, that's the idea anyway. As a small creator, I don't see Redbubble as a money-making venture. I mean, they say that passive income is the pinnacle of efficiency. To free yourself from daily work is to just have a system set up to make the money for you and function without your help, right? But ironically, you don't sell a lot on Redbubble unless you have a huge demand. And if I had a huge demand, I would much rather source my own products and pack them with love and attention. I would definitely earn more than $1 per item if I were to order these things myself. I sure as heck wouldn't be sending that kind of business to another company so that they can make a bulk of the profit, unless I was a professional who was very busy with something else that's better than this. If I was selling original paintings and commissions left, right, and center and didn't have time to sell prints, I might consider it. But I don't have a huge demand. In the last year or so on Redbubble, I've made a grand total of $6. $6 just for scanning some art. I don't have regrets about that. And I'm hoping people are walking away with a nice item that lives up to their expectations. The funky thing is that Redbubble doesn't pay anybody $6. You have to earn $20 before they pay out, which is not a high threshold at all. I mean, even YouTube, you have to earn over $100 before YouTube pays you anything, which could take years. But like I said, I'm earning $6 a year. It's so little that I don't even think about it, but if I do, it's kind of weird, right? If it's not accessible to me, then it's money that's not paid. So it's not even income yet, but Redbubble is hanging on to anything less than $20 for how many people? Hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands? I'm really curious to know what their bookkeeping looks like. There must be a huge amount of money just sitting somewhere, maybe earning interest for this company and not going to the small creators who are providing all of the draw for this company's business in the first place. It definitely doesn't really feel good to see Redbubble selling hundreds of dollars of merchandise and I theoretically may get $6 out of it. someday, maybe. Years from now, maybe never. I definitely use Redbubble for the purpose of giving you guys somewhere to go to get things that you want during a situation where I can't do those things myself. And in the last several years, I'm sure a bunch of new places have opened up. There's Imprint, which I think does print services. I do sell my own prints, but it is a huge startup cost to do it, and it takes years and years for me to sell them. So you already kind of have to have the money to sell merchandise. So it's definitely a pros and cons balance. It's great if you really don't want to sell merch, but you want to have a place for you to send people when they ask about it, and then maybe you'll get $1, 30 cents, $5 if it's something big, maybe. Theoretically, in the long future of your life, if you're not making $20 of fees, which is really hard to do when you're only getting paid 30 cents a pop, right? And hands-off customer service can kind of go either way, because you either don't want to deal with customer service and shipping and returns and problem solving and stuff, and then other people might feel a little anxious about giving that up because you don't know like what kind of service your audience is getting. Are they walking away with a sour taste, and therefore they're going to associate that sour taste with you, even though you weren't even involved? So that could be a pro and a con, depending on how it goes. I have never heard anything, which is the design, that I'm not really meant to hear anything from happy or disappointed customers on Redbubble, because they're not my customers. But at the same time, like, some people might not understand that, right? So 4 years later, despite the ridiculously low return, I think I'm still technically pro Redbubble and other websites, just because they do perform a service. I haven't really been marketing my Redbubble site that much because, again, it's not my business. So I don't really know what it takes to grow there, or if I even really want to grow there, you know what I mean? Like, I honestly kind of feel weird about merch in general. So without marketing, I'd say they probably sell about as much as I could sell my own stuff with my art on it. Honestly, I really do think that I could do better, like if I was at a market or something. Like, I'm pretty sure Redbubble sells maybe like 2 items a year. For me to be sitting at $6 after a year, that must be like a shirt and a sticker and a card or something like that. So let's say Redbubble can only sell 3 items for me a year on their own. I could probably sell 3 items a year on my own. So that's definitely something to consider. I just don't want to start building stock of a bunch of merchandise, so I'm just gonna let Redbubble handle my 3 sales a year. And let me know in the comments how you've been doing. Have you tried these print-on-demand websites? Have they been doing much for you? And has anyone ordered Redbubble stuff recently? Because I'm curious to know if the products are still really good 4 years later. Because the things that I bought are doing really good. I mean, yeah, it's a $15 pencil case, but this pencil case is heavy duty. So I'm quite happy with that. Let me know below what you think, and I will see you in the next one.